I'm your moderator, and it's enough.
When I look at my own country, the United States, it is a semi-democratic, white-dominated, hierarchical, racist society that aims to preserve privilege by the elites. That's how it was formed in 1787. It was a slave-owning, genocidal country, killing Native Americans for a white culture. But amazingly, it still looks that way. Although we're much more diverse now than we were. The most violent country in the world in the 19th century, by far, was perhaps the most democratic or second most democratic, and that was Britain. You can be democratic at home and ruthlessly imperial abroad. The most violent country in the world since 1950 has been the United States. It's been by far involved
Jeffrey,
in
stop now. Let's Jeffrey, I'm your moderator, and it's enough.
When I look...
All right, shalom to the elect of Israel. I want to start by giving all the praises, honor, and glory to whom rightfully belongs, which is Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone that rule well. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect. And I just wanted to get this. I saw this video, right? And man, you know, I was like, wow, because here it is. You got one of these devils literally sitting up here on a platform like this. I don't know if this is in America, right? Because shit, Salakia, man. Damn, big ass bug just landed on me. Fuck. Alright. That shit landed heavy too. One of them like black and red bugs that come out in the summertime and shit like that, man. You know? I forget what they called, but it's huge, man. She just landed on me and scared the shit out of me. Salakia. Alright. I'm outside. Can't be inside, right? You know, now doing a lesson. But as I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, you know, if you look in the top right, well, not like on the, you know, where they're sitting at, if you look up on that screen in the back, it says Chief Diplomatic Correspondent Europe, the New York Times. So actually, I don't know if this is in America or not. I don't think it is. But basically, okay, as you see, this guy, right? He's like on one of those platforms. At first, I thought this was the World Economic Forum, but it's not, right? But he's on one of these platforms, man. These like huge platforms, man. Like one of those like world stage type of platforms, you know. And he's openly admitting this, man. Openly admitting that America, you know, is you know, I'm gonna actually play it again a little bit.
My own country, the United States.
So he's talking about, he said when he looks at his own country, the U.S.,
it is a semi-democratic, white-dominated, hierarchical, racist society that aims to preserve privileges by the elites. That's how it was formed in
1787.
It was a slave-owning,
genocidal country,
killing Native Americans for a white culture.
You know, offing or deleting, you know, Native Americans.
But amazingly, it still looks that way.
You know, it said basically deleting, you know, so-called Native Americans, you know, for white people, basically, you know, so they could come and live here and stay here, you know. Said it still looks that way.
Although we're much more diverse now than we were. The most violent country in the world.
In the
19th century. By far.
In the 19th century, by far.
Perhaps the most democratic or second most democratic, and that was Britain. You can be democratic at home and ruthlessly imperial.
All right. So you get it. So he's basically admitting it, man. You know, he's basically admitting that this country was founded upon bloodshed. You know, it's a destructive country. He's admitting this on a world stage platform type of thing. I said the Democracy Forum. Okay, it must be called the Democracy Forum or something like that. Right? You know? So this is true. He's openly admitting this, man, and this is Esau himself saying this. This is you know, like, there's no way they can deny it. You know, there's no way you could deny about Babylon. You know, Babylon, this being Babylon the Great. All right, let me get a certain scripture, man. All right, Salakia. This is Revelation chapter 17. Right, starting in verse 5. And upon her forehead was a name written, Mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. All right, this is America. When you read up, you know, it talks about all of that. It says, and I saw the woman, America, drunken with the blood of the saints. Who are the saints? The Israelites, right? Drunken with the blood of the saints. You know, they spilled blood, man. You know, establishing this land. Okay, they spilled blood here, man. In Habakkuk, the 2nd chapter, it talks about that. Habakkuk chapter 2, verse 12. Woe to him that buildeth, woe meaning death and destruction, says to him that buildeth a town with blood and establisheth a city by iniquity. That's exactly how America was founded, man. You know? In Daniel 7 and 21, it says, I beheld in the same horn, which this horn is talking about America. It says, made war against the saints and prevailed against them. Yeah. You know, the saints being the Israelites. This is talking about when Esau, the so-called white man, came over here to the western hemisphere of the earth, taking down the so-called Native Americans, enslaving the so-called blacks. You know, this is when that, you know, this is when all of that happened. Okay, you can't deny it, and that man openly spoke about it. You know, you see, that man openly spoke about it, man. Okay, and now that I think about something, right, because he also said how it's the most destructive country. Now that I think about something, let me just type something up real quick, Salakia. Right, so it says yes, Rome conquered and controlled vast swaths of territory across Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East, assimilating numerous nations, cities-states, and tribes with empire. So you could say, Rome, you know, was conquering and everything, right? And now in the scriptures we know that America, you know, is Rome coming back. Okay, let me get that real quick. Right, it's Revelation 13, starting at verse 12. No, verse 11. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, and he had 2 horns like a lamb, and he spake as a dragon. This is America. Two political parties, Republican and Democrat. They act like they're beneficial to you, as them speaking like a lamb. But then, you know, I mean, that's the, you know, 2 horns like a lamb, but then he spake as a dragon, going into the harsh laws that come of him. You know, they bring out harsh laws and everything, make it hard for you to be a citizen, etc. Because then he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him, which was Rome. And it's, you know, because it talks about that first beast being Rome, right? And he exercises all the power of the first beast before him, which is Rome, and calls it the earth, and them that which dwell therein to worship the first beast whose deadly wound was healed. Because America, America mimics ancient Rome. You know, the way it's structured, the society, the government buildings, the form of government, architecture, you know, entertainment, philosophies, calendar, holidays, you know, all those different things. You know, these people go along with it, right? Now, verse 13 says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men. Yeah, so dealing with this is America, this beast right here, right? The Lord gave Esau the technology, these American Edomites the technology, you know, to make these planes go up in the sky, right, and drop bombs on people, right? It's destructive. This is a destructive country, right? Nobody can deny the history and making of how this country came about, man. Nobody can deny that. You see? And this country is going to go out, man, in a very, very horrifying way. This is Revelation 18, starting in verse 4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, "Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues," going into when Yahushua returns, he's going to beam up his elect. Verse 5, "For her sins have reached unto heaven," her talking about America. "For her sins have reached unto heaven, and the Most High hath remembered her iniquities." All right, the Most High hath remembered her iniquities. Everything America's done, all the wickedness is done from the time it began up to now. The Lord has, and it's the Lord remembers, including slavery, which is like America's original sin. "Reward her even as she rewarded you, and double unto her double according to her works, and the cup which she hath filled for her double." See? Verse 7. All right, it says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow gave her, for she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. Right? And in this country, after all this destruction, this country is proud, man. It said, because you see the attitude in the average everyday Edomite, man. American. You see that in the average everyday, American, right? That American pride. Nothing's gonna happen to America, right? They're not gonna see no sorrow. They feel like ain't nothing can happen bad to this place. Can't get bombed. Nobody could touch it. If anything does happen, they'll just retaliate and drop a bomb on whoever. Verse 8, "Therefore shall her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire, for strong is the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai who judgeth her." You see? So ultimately this place is going to go out by fire, man. Nuclear missiles. The Lord is going to raise up countries, right, including, and one of the main ones being Russia, all right, to shoot intercontinental ballistic missiles on this place. Nuclear missiles, man. The Lord is going to use a wide variety of countries to nuke America. And that's going to be a second death, which after that is going to usher in the kingdom of heaven upon earth, right? Not too long after. So, nobody can deny, right, how this place was, fucking bugs everywhere flying around and shit. But nobody can deny how this place was formed, man. Okay? There's a bunch of bloodshed, and the scriptures talk about this thing, man. This is the book of Numbers, chapter 35, verse 33. "So ye shall not pollute the land wherein ye are, for blood it defileth the land, and the land cannot be cleansed of the blood that is shed therein, but by the blood of him that shed it." Okay? So, and that's how America is, this land is defiled, man. All the blood that was shed here. And he said for it was, to be racist and everything. Yeah. Look at the eras that have passed by in America. Jim Crow, slavery, civil rights era, Even now you still feel the friction, amongst this place when you're an Israelite. You still feel that friction. You go into certain areas and neighborhoods, around these devils, you still feel that friction, man. Okay? The Lord has something for this place. Okay? The Lord is going to wipe this place out. This is the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 8. "Behold, the eyes of the Lord Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shai are upon the sinful kingdom," which is America. Okay? The sinful kingdom is America. All this wickedness done here. "And I will destroy it from off the face of the earth." How? By nuclear missiles. "Saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh." So the very ones that America has put down and enslaved, right? The very ones the Lord is going to deliver a remnant of. See? Another scripture I wanted to get regarding America's destruction is this, Revelation 8. The burnt mountain, right? Anyways, you know what? I'm gonna come back. after that, because I might got to go over that again. I don't want to say nothing wrong. All right? You know, sometimes you got to freshen up on certain things, man. You know? But that's, you know, that's you can say that's basically it. All right? Actually, let me get this in Daniel. Okay? And this devil, you know, the thing is, he tries to tell you to forget about it. It was a long time ago, but don't you understand? One, you know, the effects of everything that happened in the past still affect us now. You know? And two, the Lord doesn't forget. All right? He said the Most High remember her iniquities. Right? And number three, Esau gonna have to pay for all of that. You know? These devils done got so prideful, man. They gonna have to pay for all of that, what they've done. And like they said, it was you know, this it was, you know, white dominated thing, you know, for the elites and everything like that, right? You know, and that goes with this scripture, Revelation 13 verses 7. Yeah, verse 7, it says, and it was given unto him, Esau, to make war with the saints. Who are the saints? Israelites, and to overcome them. You know, once again, with the whole colonization and everything, right? Which I believe in Wikipedia. Let me see something. In Wikipedia, they call this Age of Discovery, I believe. It says the Age of Discovery, also known as the Age of Exploration, was part of the early modern period and overlapped with the Age of Sail. It was a period from approximately the 15th to the 17th century, during which seafarers from European countries explored, colonized, and conquered regions across the globe. Right? You know, had a whole thing with Christopher Columbus and everything in this era, right? So from this point on, you know, this devil got control, okay? Over not only the Israelites, but as it says, Revelation 13 and 7 again, and it was given unto him to make war with the saints and to overcome them, and power was given him over all kindreds and tongues and nations, right? And even over, you know, the other nations of the world. This is why these devils say, you know, they rule the world. I saw a quote the other day, or a comment the other day by, you know, basically Edomites, Esau basically saying, you know, it was a post about something different on Instagram, but basically it was saying, you know, now you try that and you're gonna see why we rule the world. You see that? So the pride of these devils is high, man, real high. Okay, but let me get this real quick. What I was about to get? Oh, Job 9:24. Then I want to get something out of Daniel. This is the book of Job, chapter 9, verse 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces of the judges thereof, if not wherein who is he? Okay? So, yeah, you know, these devils, the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. See? They're in power right now. And the Lord is the one that put them there. You know, ultimately, these elites, they feel like nobody can take them down. You know, the elites of Esau, they feel like that. Obadiah chapter 1, verse 3, the pride of thine heart, mine, hath deceived thee, thou dwellest in the cleft of the rock, whose habitation is high. It's talking about Esau. That saith in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? These elites feel nobody can bring them down. And you see this, the elites, I mean, you know, you kind of see it in Esau too, you know, in general, you know, you see this in Esau as well, the same attitude. All right, but you more so see, you know, the elites, they feel like can't nobody beat them. You know, they got the world in the palm of their hand. They got the fatness of the earth, man, as the scriptures say they were going to have, but they don't realize that they're going to go down. That's what they don't get. All right. So, you know, but the Lord ultimately has something for this devil, man. And Lord, you know, yeah, it was a painful strike that the Lord, you know, allowed Esau to give us. But, you know, just wait till, you know, just wait till the Lord, you know, when he flips it back. See, when he allows us to get our lick back, man. Let me get this. It's the book of Ezekiel, right? 25 and 14. And I will lay my vengeance upon Edom by the hand of my people Israel. And they shall do in Edom according to mine anger and according to my fury. And they shall know my vengeance, saith the Lord Yahweh. See that? You know, it's gonna come, you know, a lot of stuff is gonna happen to these devils, man. Just wait. You know, but prophecy has to play out, because America would be this country, as this man was going into, as bad as it is, you know, This country is the last major kingdom before Yahweh Shai returns. All right, it's the book of Daniel, chapter 7. Now I'm gonna just get this because that's America is also referred to that little horn in Daniel 7. It was Daniel 7 and 11. I beheld them because of the voice of the great words which the horn speak. I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame. And this great horn is this horn is talking about America. It says, I beheld even till the beast was slain and his body destroyed and given to the burning flame, because America is going to be nuked, by fire, as we read in Revelation 18. The scriptures talk about the same thing, but just in different ways, sometimes. See, but it still talks about fire though. Verse 12, as concerning the rest of the beasts, the heathen nations, they had their dominion taken away. Okay, meaning what? They're going to go into slavery. Yet their lives were prolonged for a season in time, meaning that in the kingdom of heaven, these other nations, these heathen nations, they're not, these other nations aside from the Edomites, they're gonna be tributaries under the nation of Israel. They're not gonna exterminate it like Esau will, but they're gonna be tributaries. So you see how it talks about America's destruction. It doesn't mention another kingdom coming up.